Up with KREM begins now.
6:29 now. Welcome back to Up with KREM. I'm Jen York. Today, crews are finalizing plans to open a mass COVID-19 vaccination site in Spokane, and that is where we find Joshua Robinson.
Yeah, good morning, Jen. Yeah, a lot of those plans involve making sure vaccines are distributed quickly, efficiently, and not gone to waste. We'll tell you more details this half hour.
And we got a little bit of light snow coming down early on this morning. It's actually associated with our next big weather maker that arrives overnight tonight.
A new trend online is poking fun at the phrase, once COVID is over. I'll tell you more about it and how some of you are having great examples in just a few minutes.
Well, welcome back. Great to have you with us here on our Tuesday morning here on Up with KREM. And we're waking up to a little snow on the ground today. We'll be checking in with Jeremy Legou here in just a minute. He's keeping an eye on the forecast. He says maybe more snow on the horizon. We'll have to wait and see for that. But Nicole Hernandez is also braving the elements this morning. She joins us now on what you need to know before heading out the door.
Yeah, good morning, Jen. So right now it is snowing just a tiny bit. We've got some flakes coming down right now, but as pretty as it looks and as fun as it might be to mess with, all of this snow here on the ground is causing some issues for drivers. So take a look. We're looking at downtown Spokane here. You can see the roads this morning have just about as much snow as they did yesterday. You're looking at a similar commute as what you had yesterday morning if you're getting up and out of the house. That slick, slippery, snowy roads because we did get a little bit more snow this morning that has come up back onto the road. So throughout the day yesterday, they kind of got a little bit better. Things started melting off as more and more traffic came over the roads. But now we're right back to snow and cold temperatures, which is making it harder, of course, for that snow to melt off. So you're going to have a slippery commute this morning for sure. The powder on the ground is making for some good traction in spots, but also causing for some slippery spots, especially with that cold weather. Anything that melted yesterday is turning into that kind of slippery ice as well. So just make sure you're careful and be ready to also scrape off that snow from your windshield because we did get that little layer. So if you parked outside, you should be ready for that. And just know that conditions will be changing depending on what you're looking at. Obviously here we've got kind of in between road, this arterial that has had a little bit of traffic. I-90 is looking better than this, but our side streets are looking much worse. So just depending on where you're getting up and where you're headed, just be ready for anything this morning. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Well, it seems early on this morning we just can't catch a break from the snow this week, and our little bit of snow that's coming down now should be about the end of it for the day today, but I do think it lasts a little bit longer. And with temperatures hovering in the mid to upper 20s, the snow that falls is going to stick. We're not really talking much in the way of accumulation. Since midnight at the airport, we picked up about 4/10 of an inch, but the airport, as always, is kind of the hot spot when it comes to snow. I could give you some facts about the airport the past couple of days that might make you say, why do we do the airport when we're talking about snow and impacts of it here in Spokane? Seeing a little bit of that snow coming down on the radar, I think it's starting to wind down, and by the time the sun really comes up, we'll start to see it slowly wind down. But here's the real punch from this storm. Early tomorrow morning, we get our snow working its way back into the forecast. That sticks around through the show and is a little bit more widespread. 1 to 2 inches here in town out of that one before we start to see things warm up later on in the afternoon. Early this morning, it's light snow and temps in the 20s. Later on this afternoon, it's temps in the mid-30s with a few peaks of sun. And this is really going to be one to watch because unfortunately for all you snow lovers out there, I think after this round of snow, we're looking at temps warming up and out that melting and rain by this weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, temperatures we're talking about in the 40s later on this week. So looking forward to that full forecast, Jeremy. Thank you. Well, this morning, the final preparations are underway to open a mass COVID-19 vaccination site in Spokane, and that will be one of 4 across Washington state. Joshua Robinson joining us live this morning from the Spokane Arena this morning with new details. Hi, Joshua.
Hey, good morning, Jen. Yeah, you mentioned it. Everything seems to be on schedule with that site opening up tomorrow. Once again, as a reminder, though, it is still 2 days later than the original date that was promised to us by the state. Of course, now Washington National Guard members have arrived on scene. We saw them starting to come in yesterday to help with the operation at the clinic. Also, the Spokane Regional Health District has confirmed that they did receive the first shipment of 3,000 COVID-19 vaccines. Now, that vaccine site will the vaccine site here will use the Moderna vaccine as opposed to the 3 other mass vaccination sites in Washington that will all be using the Pfizer vaccine. So the Spokane Arena vaccination site, again as a reminder, is by appointment only. You can sign up on the Chaz Health website once it goes live tomorrow morning. And we did reach out to Chaz Health to ask what accommodations patients can expect when they get here. So the spokesperson confirmed with us there will be seating available at all stages of the vaccination process once people go inside the arena. And that includes a waiting area before you get your vaccine and seating after you get your vaccine for observation. Now, drive-through COVID-19 testing will still continue at the arena in the parking lot at the same time as vaccinations. Now, this vaccine rollout was a huge topic of conversation with the Spokane City Council. Of course, they spoke with Health Officer Dr. Frank Velasquez, who not only gave a presentation, but also fielded questions from other district members about their concerns. We heard from Kate Burke, who asked what the health district is doing to make sure none of these doses go to waste.
I wonder what the solution is there so that we don't waste these vaccines.
So the direction that all providers have is to make sure that before you open the shipment, you have line of sight for utilizing every single one of the doses that you are opening out of that package. And we've had situations in which that has not worked out 100%. So we've actually moved vaccine around, and some providers have actually called on their waiting list, individuals that have signed up but couldn't get in. And the goal is to make sure nothing goes to waste. And I can tell you, at least locally at the district, not a single one has gone to waste, and we're over 90% on utilization on the ones we've gotten.
And to be clear, that 90% figure he's talking about does not mean 10% of vaccines have been thrown out. It just means they haven't yet been administered. And like you just heard, Dr. Velasquez says none of the shots that have been given directly by the health district have gone to waste. The district also reported they have not heard of any doses being thrown out by any other local providers either. Now, as we mentioned, the Spokane Arena is not the only mass vaccination site opening up this week in Washington State. There are 3 others, starting with one at the Benton County Fairgrounds in Kennewick. And that site opened just yesterday, and hundreds of people rushed to claim their vaccine dose. As organizers at the fairgrounds said, appointment information was actually incorrect. They started handing out vaccines on a first-come, first-served basis, and those operating the site do not have access to the state's appointment system. That is according to the Benton Franklin Health District. Now the state is mandating that the vaccine site only honor appointments there, and a total of 500 vaccines were given out yesterday, including one 84-year-old Washington native who drove all the way from Oklahoma to get his vaccine at the vaccination site in Kennewick.
I set my mileage at 0 miles when I left. It's 1,777. I've only driven it to Richland. I drove almost 1,800 miles in 2.5 days.
Wow. Now, vaccinations at the mass vaccine site are going to continue all this week. Organizers say they have 3,000 vaccine doses to use this week, and on-site officials in Spokane are asking everyone to be patient and be prepared to wait. Bring some food and some water for your wait. As organizers say, not a single patient so far in Washington has showed any adverse reactions after getting their vaccine. Of course, this vaccine has been in high demand throughout the state. And one location over on the west side of the state actually brought in 6,000 requests for a COVID-19 vaccine at the Kent Medical Practice, but they were only given 100 doses by the state. Leaders at the practice say that the large increase of people crashed their website and their software, meaning that they haven't been able to get back into all patients and let them know the latest status on their appointments, or even tell them that they've been canceled in some cases. The owner of the practice says he does understand that people are frustrated for the fact that they're not being updated But the Kent Family Practice created some software to help respond to appointment requests and emails. That is running now on 10 computers around the clock, but it still could take days before they're able to get back to everyone. Now, later this morning, I will be interviewing a representative from Chaz Health talking about tomorrow's plans for the opening process. And later today, KREM 2 does plan to tour the vaccination site. We'll bring you the latest information on that tour and what it looks like. Of course, join us tomorrow on Up with KREM as we bring full coverage to you on everything you need to know just hours before the vaccination site opens up in Spokane. Of course, if you would like the latest information, not only on the vaccines here, but across the state and in Idaho as well, all you have to do is text the word vaccine to 509-448-2000. We'll get you the latest information right to your phone. You can also always check out KREM.com or our KREM 2 mobile app for the latest updates. But for now, reporting live at the Spokane Arena, Joshua Robinson, KREM 2 News.
Well, as you saw there with Joshua, there's a little bit of light snow coming down early on this morning, but that snow, it's associated with a much bigger storm that's moving in later on today and tonight. I'll walk you through what those impacts are going to be.